Hey everyone, for today's lesson we're going to be learning about ions. So in the previous video you guys learned about isotopes where we have the same element but a different number of neutrons. An ion is two versions of the same element that have a different number of electrons. So just to give you guys a little visual of what that looks like, if we have a sodium atom versus a sodium ion, a sodium atom, if it's neutral, will have 11 protons and 11 neutrons. 11 electrons rather. So we have 11 protons, 11 electrons out here on the outside, and once sodium loses that outer electron, it now has 10 electrons. So when my number of protons is equal to my number of electrons, so again, protons are positive, electrons are negative. If I have 11 positives and 11 negatives, we have a neutral atom. So this sodium is not positive or negative, it's neutral. We have an ion, so we have Na+, we have 11 protons, 10 electrons. So again, protons are positive. We have more positives than negatives. So the reason we have a plus right here is because there are more positives than there are negatives. We've lost an electron, so we have more protons than electrons, which means I have a positive ion. The reverse example of this would be if I gained an electron and I had more negatives than positives, then we would have a negative ion. Your assignment for this is going to look a lot like the isotope assignment where we have just a big chart to fill in. So I'll do the first couple for you and then I'll leave you to your own devices to figure out the rest. So first example, we have Cl-, and what that minus means is I have a negative ion, and Cl is chlorine. So you have a negative ion of chlorine, which means it's gained an electron. So just to start off with something you guys already know from the last video, we have a mass of 35 and we have 17 protons. So in order for me to end up with a mass of 35, we have to take protons plus neutrons. So in order to figure out my number of neutrons, we just have to take 17 plus something to get 35. So that would be 18. So we know we have 18 neutrons because 18 plus 17 gives me 35. And the reason this right here is also 18 electrons is because we have Cl-. So that means 17 protons, 18 electrons. We have more negatives than positives, so we have Cl-. We have a negative ion. So we just say this is negative ion. So next one we have F-, so that would be fluorine. We have a mass of 19 with 9 protons, so the difference between those two numbers is 10. So we know 10 neutrons plus 9 protons is going to give me a mass of 19. We have 10 electrons, we have 9 protons, so there are more negatives than positives, which means this is going to be a negative ion as well. So number 3, we have K+. So again, this plus is telling me I have a positive ion, meaning I have more protons than electrons. So if you look back at the table, so we're looking for K+, so K would be potassium right here. So potassium normally has 19 protons, or always will have 19 protons. Now in this problem it's not giving us mass, but we have everything we need to know to find mass. So we have the 19 protons, 20 neutrons, so those two added up is going to give me mass, which is 39. Now we have to figure out number of electrons. So we see the positive right there, and there's no number next to the positive, but if there's no number next to it, we just assume that's 1. So we know this is a positive ion. So in order for us to get a positive ion here, we have to have more protons than electrons. And more specifically, we need 1 more proton than electrons. So in order for us to get a +1 charge, we have to have 18 electrons. So our protons will outnumber the electrons. All right. I'll leave number 4 and 5 for you guys to do on your own. If you have questions with that, you can feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to help you through it.